All right, so we've got the front of the shirt here. We've done our buttonholes. Now we need to mark the buttons. So what you can do, this is the outside facing up. So we're going to flip the shirt over and then twist it around. So then we've got the right sides sitting together. And so on the top one here, on the collar, you can just put it through. So you put the pencil through close to the edge there, mark, and then going down here, just check that your lengths are the same, and mine are, thank goodness. And when I put the mark this, I'm going to mark it sort of, it's about 3 or 4 millimeters from the top of the buttonhole here. And this is good because if you have it in the top, it means that when the top button's done up, that the buttons sit in place and they don't, like, the buttonholes don't go up and down and throw out the like the distribution. Oops. And you'll see here that the buttons aren't going in the center of this. They're actually going off to one side because, that's where those buttons are going, is the center front. And then on the cuff, I think I would literally just flip this back on itself and do the same thing as we did on the collar. And put the mark there, show the button position. Okay, and now we're just going to show you how to sew on a button. Okay, so I've got a long length of thread here, and I folded it in half. So you've got the the turn down the bottom here. So got my needle, and then just putting through the eye, and then I actually don't have a lot of thread here. It always seems much longer until you actually get it on the needle.
Well, if you make them too long, they tend to knot and get tangled. So
yeah, that's true.
You don't want it too long.
So, but it means if you're doing double, it means you've actually got 4 threads here that are, so you don't have to put as much work into sewing the button on because it's already pretty good. So I've tied a knot in the end here, and I usually do a second knot. And the thing is to try and get the knot on top of the first knot, so you've got a double one there. Otherwise it's not going to do much, because the idea of the knot is so that it doesn't pull through the fabric. So sewing the button on, I go from the top down to begin with, and that way the knot is going to sit on top of the fabric, and I've actually got to get a button.
So we've got some buttons for you, but so that we're not going through 90 sets of 6 or 7 buttons, we're only going to get you to do 3 buttons, so 3 buttons on.
So then I go back up through the fabric and through the button, and then down again, so that's 1, and I do that twice.
And you'll be using a cream coloured thread or a white thread?
Yes, I'm using red thread because it was sitting on the table.
Yeah, so you can see what he's doing.
Should really be done in black, but it does look cute in the red.
Oh, so this is finishing off now?
Yeah, so I'm finishing it off at the back, so just pull it through the loop.
That kind of knots it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then I'll do 2 of those. And there are lots of different ways of sewing on buttons. So, if you don't use this method, use your own method. And then just to finish that off, I just push it through to the top.
Oh, yeah,
and then that's where I cut it, so the thread. Oh goodness, I cut the cord. That way the end is tucked under the button there.
Yeah.
So for yours, you can do the top button, the first button, and we'll get you to do the button on the cuff as well, rather than doing all of those buttons, because it's, you know, probably a shirt that you're not actually going to wear.
Oh, and the last thing too is always put the stitching in the same direction as the buttonhole. So
Oh yeah,
can you just
exactly.
explain
Yep,
that?
so this is a horizontal buttonhole on the collar, so we have a horizontal stitching. And this is cute too, this button, because it has like an eye in it as well, so you get that there. And then the buttonholes down here, they go up and down, so you would stitch the button up and down as you're going down the front.
Yep.